Wild and Wicked is about to go live online. Catch Wild and Wicked monster hits, movie, music, info, and spicy bits exclusively on the Monster. Streaming video on the Monster Facebook page at RX931, the Monster YouTube channel at RX931, and twitch.tv/Monster RX931. Stand by and enjoy the program.
Manila's hottest, Monster RX93.1. How you guys doing? It's Gail. It's Wild and Wicked. We are live, not just on air, but also online on Facebook, Twitch, and on YouTube. Why? Because we will be joined by a very special band, fresh voices on the Monster, but we have been playing their songs back to back to back to back to back. The first song that we played actually on Wild and Wicked on the show was Miley. Yeah. So if you guys are familiar, also part of our top 20. Oh my gosh. Everybody, let's all welcome Culture Wars. Hi. we love the energy. Oh my gosh. But I don't know if it's my internet or what. But anyway, we're going to make do. Culture Wars, welcome to the Philippines. Hi, welcome to the Monster as well. Say hello to everybody tuned in.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
We did mention that welcome to the Philippines. So everybody who might be wondering, Philippines? What do you mean? Yeah, they are in the Philippines. Why? Can you guys tell us why? And of course, to answer also, or to just piggyback off that, is this your first time in the Philippines?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely our first time. And we're here opening for LANY tomorrow at the Philippine Arena.
Yeah, the biggest stadium. In actually the biggest arena in the Philippines, also whole of Asia, if I'm not mistaken. So really big deal. So let me just ask also, how did that conversation went? How do you meet LANY and how did you okay, you guys are going to open for us? How did that even go about?
Well, you just asked really nicely and hoped that they don't tell you to go somewhere. No, they've been very cool and gracious in having us, and I mean, we honestly did not really see it coming. So we really appreciate the opportunity. And
it also helps that Dave has been dating the lead singer's sister for the past 3 years.
No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he even has a sister. But
Dave's been dating.
She claims she's his sister.
She told Dave that on
Unrelated.
But you guys have been with them the past couple of countries, maybe Asia. So how has it been so far? How has the crowd been, the energy, your energy as well?
Yeah, it's been wild. I mean, I think the first night in Singapore when we started this tour, they killed the lights, the house lights for us, and everyone just went. It was just, my brain kind of re-racked around it right before we went on. I was like, okay, here we go. It's the real deal. So we're just super excited and trying to give that energy back,
Love it, love it, love it. Again, to all the monsters currently locked in. If you just tuned in, hi. Again, we are joined by Culture Wars. They are touring with LANY for their A Beautiful Blur, the world tour in Asia. Also currently here in the Philippines. But done with that conversation, now we got to talk about Culture Wars. The story behind the band, the name as well, your lore, basically the Culture Wars lore. Tell us about it.
The Culture Warlord.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Dave's answer.
I think everyone in this band comes from different walks of life, has different interests, different tastes in music, art, beliefs, and whatever. So there's a push and pull with that within this band, but that's what makes us who we are and how the music sounds. And that's also everybody in everyday walks of life. That wasn't intentional when the name came about, but I think that plays a part now when we look into it.
But you did mention that you guys all came from different walks of life. So how did you guys just meet each other and form as a band?
Well, my mom was a librarian and my dad was a pond turtle. So I
No, so I don't know where that was going.
Dave was dating Alex's sister at the time.
No,
And then she introduced him to Paul's sister.
Yeah.
who happened to be the same. No,
Who happened to
so
be friends with all of them.
I date a lot of sisters.
anyway, so no, when I moved to Austin, I was trying to like meet other musicians, and Dave and I met 11 years ago, and since then we've been trying to have a band, and I met Dylan back here through mutual family friends, and Caleb was working at the studio we were making demos at, and Josh was then working at a different studio that we were recording those demos at. So it kind of all fell together just organically, and no Craigslist ads or anything like that. Just people, and it just kind of fell together.
How about the band or the band's sound? Was it also like decided on organically? Like, okay, this is how we're gonna sound. This is the type of music that we're gonna produce, that we're gonna put out. How did that conversation just went?
10 years in the or 11 years in the making, but I think with this album, and I'll kick it to Caleb here in a second, I think for us it was more of an intentional, being like our first album was more of an intentional thing. But
Yeah, I think the idea everybody's kind of been on board with for a while now. It's like we didn't feel like there was like a modern version of like a rock band where everybody's playing their instruments and it's very all raw and organic, and like what you hear is what you get. Like there's drums, there's guitars, there's bass, and there's vocals. And like at the time that we started making this, the idea was kind of like, why isn't there anything like that in the modern era? And so we made it.
That's true. That's true. Like a lot of people, actually, a lot of the monsters, our listeners, we call them monsters. They request for Miley. Actually, that's why it's part of our like top 20 list for our countdown top 7. So yeah.
well, thank you everybody calling in.
Thank you. Round of applause for Monster.
Wait, so does that mean Monster is your favorite radio station now?
Yes,
100%.
we are big monsters.
Easily.
By
It
far.
always has been.
We were always saying we were monsters before, and now it's for real.
Yes. And hopefully we can have you here in the station also, in the flesh, live in the booth, to join us. Maybe perform a couple of songs when you guys come back to the Philippines, or hopefully very, very
As soon as
Back
possible,
very
yeah.
soon.
We're already working on
Yes,
it.
please. And since you already mentioned, like, okay, 10, 11 years in the making, can you, or do you guys remember your first performance as a band, or your first gig?
Yes.
What was it?
It was on a Monday at 4 p.m. at the Roost. And the only people that were there were my parents and Alex's parents. And you could hear the bartenders like wiping the tables and like throwing away trash as we were playing.
Sounds about right.
Very memorable.
I don't know why there was so much trash. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, yes, that was an amazing story. Because honestly, I don't know what to believe.
No,
That's
That actually is real.
that's
Okay.
The
not
Roost
all-
is a real, or was a real venue in Austin.
it's not all glamorous, but I think every band has stories like that of playing to
Mhm.
0 people. So
We have a lot of stories.
needless to say, we're very excited to play in front of a little more than just our parents tomorrow night.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Philippine, or the Philippine Arena, I think holds like 50,000, 55,000 seating capacity. So like, ooh.
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah. Trying to think about it.
Interesting. And what are you guys most excited to perform tomorrow?
What song?
Yeah.
We've got a new one that's been doing really well on this tour, that is on the new album, but we haven't released it yet, and it's called Typical Ways. That one's been doing really well, so that's always kind of fun. It's also just the hardest one for me to sing, so I'm like, okay, here we go, but everyone seems to like it, so that's been the most energy packed.
Also, the song we open with is the next song that's going to come out on the 17th.
Next
And
week.
Ooh.
We all love that one, and I think it starts to set off on a really great tone. So, being able to just like get this show going with that is always a fun start.
And also Miley too, because everywhere we've been going, people actually know that song, and we've never been to any places before, so we're like, well, that's cool.
Yeah, and for sure, I feel like tomorrow a lot of people will be singing along to Miley also. But how
great.
about the band as Culture Wars? Any upcoming tours besides your upcoming releases, tours, the band? What can the fans expect?
Yeah, we're going to Australia after this with a girl named Amy Shark, doing some playing with her and doing some big amphitheater things and over there. That's our first time playing over there. And then we are actively scheduling 2025 right now for the album release. So a lot of shows coming up in the new year, and we definitely plan on coming back immediately.
Yes. Love it, love it, love it. It is 8:42 already. We're going to say goodbye in just a little bit, but one last question for the band. You guys have been touring lots of countries, visiting, yada, yada, yada. Earlier also we mentioned, okay, you guys, we're not going to share what happened with the flight, but the question is though, what is your flight or with all the flights that you've been catching and will be catching because of the tour and because of your upcoming engagements? Have you developed like a flight routine? Like, what do you do during long haul flights that you want to share? Maybe some tips also to the monsters or to the people locked in.
Don't eat airplane shrimp.
Airplane shrimp.
No,
Is
yeah.
this coming from somebody who has an allergic reaction or who gets allergic reactions from shrimp?
Something like that.
No, yeah,
You might be able to call it an allergic to
I think one of our crew members ate some bad airplane shrimp and was
A little under the weather.
a little under.
incapacitated.
Yeah.
No. Oh my god.
It's shrimping.
Not great.
Are you guys fans of like doing skincare?
Oh yeah.
Also during flights?
Oh, on the plane? No, not really.
I do it before
I'd
and
probably be
after a
better.
flight.
Yeah.
I do it the night before and then the night after.
I'll do a wash off on the up and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just trying to sleep.
I don't
Dylan
know.
likes wearing compression socks on airplanes.
I do it.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. Compression socks, I have heard of that bun. But anyway, last couple of minutes before we say goodbye, one last message to the monsters, especially those who have been requesting for Miley on the monster.
Yeah. Thank you for all the requests for Miley. Please
Thank you.
keep it coming. If we can get into that top 7, we really appreciate it. And we're gonna give you all of our energy tomorrow. I'm gonna just take a nap right after the show because I'm leaving it all on the floor, as we say. So we're really excited, and thank you guys so much.
We love you.
We love you.
Woohoo! Once again, monsters, we got Culture Wars with us on the Monster. Of course, another Monster exclusive interview here on Wild and Wicked. We're going to play Miley in just a bit again for the second time this hour. Why not, even if that's not allowed? But we're still going to do it. Okay, but once again, it's Gail. Going to be here all the way till 11 p.m. Culture Wars, thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully, we can see you guys here in the booth. But again, that's about it. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will be here all the way till 11 p.m. But now we got to go back to the music. Again, you're tuned in to Manila's hottest Monster RX93.1.